Welcome to Business Chats with Debbie, where we talk big stories for small businesses. I'm your host, Debbie Wolberton, and today I've got the lovely... I'm laughing before I even start because me and Karen just bounce off each other and it's just going to be one of them days. Karen Looker from Strawberry Finance.
Hello.
So you're my lovely, you're looking really well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a funny old year, hasn't it?
Funny couple of years.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
And then in the world of mortgages, an absolute plumbing nightmare over the last couple of weeks.
It's you said I'm not allowed to swear, didn't you? So what can I say?
Politely swear.
How can I politely swear? You can't. Yeah, it's been a rough one, hasn't it?
Oh, an absolute, yeah. I would have not have liked to be a mortgage advisor in the last couple of weeks.
No, there's been no fun in finance, I can tell you. The last 4 weeks have been really tough. They really
Is it sort of steadying down a bit now?
I think I've got to be careful what I say. No, not really.
Still
and I think until we've got some level of control and stability, I think we're just where we are with it really, and it's just managing that. So it's not particularly the onward purchases, the new purchases, although that's completely slowed down. It's the remortgaging, yeah. And when we're looking at people who are coming off their fixed rates and they've been on sort of 1.5 or 2%, and they're suddenly going up to 6%. That's a big shock for people.
Yeah,
you know. And we've had tears. I've had people swearing at me. I've had tantrums. I've had people just, what are we going to do? How do we deal with this? So it's been quite tough.
Yeah.
But
Is the option to basically just extend the mortgage term?
Well, sometimes there's not that option.
No.
Sometimes that's it. Within the criteria, we can't move them to another lender, so they have to accept whatever that lender's going to offer them. But you've got to be positive. I mean, I know it's a shock, but I am 57 years old. I know, who knew? And
never guessed.
Emma, thanks. We have got soft focus on here, and we, I was around in the early 90s when we had that recession. We were around.
I remember getting my first mortgage. It was 15% the interest rate.
Yeah, exactly. And then again in 2008 when we had the credit crunch, I think they called it. I think that's a recession.
Yeah.
And then we're here where we are now. So we know that it's a cycle of things, but that doesn't help when you've got everything else is going up and people are going, how are we going to pay these things? But it is a cycle.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get some control back. But the belief is that the rates aren't really going to go back to where they were before. And pre-2008, they were kind of around 4 or 5% anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I think they've been a bit too low for a bit too long. They really should have started creeping them a little bit.
Well, they were at the beginning of the year. They were starting to creep up so people get used to them. But suddenly it's
gone whoosh.
Yeah, I know. So, but, on another positive side, the lenders are still lending. Normally they just close the books down and say, that's it. And they did for about a week or so. There was a few lenders just said, no, we're coming out of the market. We'll just stop now until we can see what's going on. But I think, they're now saying, well, how else do they make money apart from lending it out? So, so we're getting there. You know. Anyway, on that joyful note, shall we talk about gin?
I've got Jake from Salcombe Gin coming in.
We like Jake.
Yeah, so he's coming in. He's doing the November. I think he's in for the November podcast.
He always brings in free gin as well. No. That's why she likes him. Just saying. Although he said to me about, we've got some no alcohol gin, to which, being northern.
This is very nice.
That's the point of that. What is the point?
But
I have to say, then he said, try it. And it was really nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very nice. So we've gone from talking about mortgages
to gin.
Yes.
Chocolate next.
I knew this was going to go downhill quite quickly.
Sorry. I mean, it's great, isn't it? An accountant and a mortgage broker talking about food and diet. Marvellous. So if you haven't lost any listeners, you have now.
And then we had Gareth in earlier talking about Labour. So.
Oh, God, did he? He didn't, did he? Did he just go on and on and on? Vote for me, I'm Gareth Looker. Yeah, I know.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, welcome to my life.
Well, so I don't really know what else to say apart from so can you see a light at the end of the tunnel? Or
Yeah, we always can. You know, people get used to, and I hate the expression, but it's the new norm. It's a new normal, and people will get used to it. We do believe if this continues, the house prices will start to come down.
yeah, because people can't afford the higher prices.
People get so het up about what the property's worth. And I mean, I remember Gareth and I moved into a house in about 2007, I think it was, and within about 5 or 6 months, with £50,000 had been wiped off the value of the property. And I remember Gareth going, "Oh no, that's awful." It's like, but it's our home,
You're not
and
gonna
we
move,
live here.
yeah.
We're not selling it. So what does it matter?
No.
And it doesn't. It doesn't. But I think what we're saying to people now is, if you're looking to try and make some money on a property, like get a one and do it up and then sell it on quickly,
Unless
maybe
you buy it
now's-
from for a really good price at the beginning, then don't
now's
even
really
think
not
about
the
it.
time to be speculating, and really, you know, don't have a property and live in it really and enjoy
Yeah.
it. You know, so that's kind of where we are with everything at the moment.
Yeah.
And like I say, because I'm a bit of an old lady, I was going to say bird, but I think that's politically incorrect now, isn't it? That's another thing I get confused
I think
with.
you
What
can
am I
call
allowed to
yourself
say?
it.
Oh, can
I just
I?
can't call anybody else
All right,
it.
well, that's
yeah,
a bit of an
yeah.
old bird then. I think, like I say, I've been here before, so the shock isn't as great for me as it probably is for other people, but it's just helping people through it, you know, and we don't want anybody losing their homes or thinking they're going to lose their homes. I can't advise on debt because that's not my job. But I can help people if they don't feel that they can afford the mortgage, or they're going to go, you know, they're going to try and not pay their mortgage, or they can't pay the mortgage. Then I can sort of give them advice of how to approach the lender to be able to say, this is where we're at. Can I have, you know, is there options for payment holidays or things like that, you know? And obviously we don't want it to affect
And the most
credit
important
scores.
thing is talking to somebody. Don't just bury your head in the sand
Don't.
and hope it'll go away, because that's the worst thing you can do.
We've seen lots over the years. I've seen lots of that where people do that, and generally by the time they come to us, they've done whatever they've done. They've ignored whatever and they're trying to get another mortgage, and the impact that it can have on credit files and things. So, and the other thing that we found, I don't know. Again, I'm not quite sure how much I can say. So I'll just say it. And if I get into trouble with the FCA or my network, then, you know, but this is about mental health issues as well. And we tend to find, and especially men particularly, struggle with the fact if they can't afford things.
And men don't talk about it.
They don't talk about it. But it's only money. It is only money. And if you end up going bankrupt, it's only money. Go bankrupt. I'm not saying go bankrupt, but what I'm saying is, rather than anybody taking their own life or feeling that's the only option, it's not. It really is. And there's some great counsellors out there, debt counsellors, a lot of help actually.
Chris Horner who works with Man Down, who does the men's mental health group, and that is such. Do you know what I mean? There's just, men don't talk about it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's one of them things where it's been instilled from an early age. You don't talk about it. You don't cry.
Yeah. And it's shameful to a man somehow.
Yeah.
Or to someone.
No, not like us. We'll just get a bottle of gin.
Cheap gin. Cheap.
Yeah, and then it's out, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You cry, and then you feel a lot better for having a cry because you've released.
Yeah,
you've released it, and men don't.
Yeah, and we find a lot of shame in and around debt with men as well. Yeah. And there just isn't, you know, we're in a situation where, but I think where men are driven in a way that their success is judged by how much they earn, what they drive, the kind of the house that they've got, the holidays they have, what they provide for their children and the wife and children. They just forget all of that. It's rubbish, frankly. Yeah. You know, it doesn't matter. We live in Cornwall, you know, you've got beautiful beaches and, you know, that costs nothing to go to. Skip on. So
it's just prioritising, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's prioritising things that are really important. But no, thank you for I've been so looking forward to today. And we haven't let down, have we? No,
I don't think so yet, but I think there's room for us to do a different podcast.
I'll see if we can get you and Jake soon with his gin.
Actually, that'd be quite good.
I don't know how much talking we'll do, but never mind.
None, probably.
So thank you so much for
No,
coming.
you're
I know you've
welcome.
had a nightmare drive up today.
No,
but
thanks
it's
for
been
inviting me,
absolutely
Debbie.
lovely.
Yeah.
And hopefully the market will, it will start to
It's
to get
you
a
know,
bit
like I
better.
say, it's cyclical. So we're fairly confident. You know, we've been around a long time, so we know what we're talking about, and there will be a calm. Hopefully, no, there will be a calm in the market at some point, and things will move on, and off we go again. So.
Yeah. So if you're looking for anybody for your mortgages, you do protection as well, don't you? So mortgage
Yes, we
protection,
do.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then Karen is the lady to talk to. You can Google her, you'll find her, Strawberry Finance, on all the social media channels, or not, just get in touch with me and I'll put you in touch with you. So, well, thank you guys for joining us today, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.